What up, folks? I'm back once again doing another video game review, and this time I'm reviewing The Adventures of Dr. Franken, which was released for the NES, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo. But for the sake of this video review, I'm only reviewing the Super Nintendo version. Now, this game is pretty much a loose adaptation of the Frankenstein novel, which was adapted into a movie franchise by Universal Studios. And the plot of this particular game is that Franken, which is pretty much the Frankenstein monster, his girlfriend was pretty much chopped into pieces, and he's pretty much on a mission to find her body parts and put her like back together, even though it's never explained who did it and why he spread Frankie's girlfriend Betsy all over the place in the castle. I wish they could have done that. Could have like explained like this backstory to the plot, but it is what it is. And this game is pretty much like a side-scrolling beat 'em up type of deal. It's kind of like I don't know what game I could compare it to, but it is a side-scrolling game with fighting elements, not like fighting methods, but pretty much Franken does a lot of punches and kicks and stuff throughout the course of the game, and you pretty much fight different enemies like floating heads and grim reapers throughout the course of the game. It's kind of like I'm not aware of any bosses that exist in the game, but you just find a particular body part and move on to the next like stage and everything. And the stage pretty much consists of different floors within the castle, and I do believe there's like 15, no more than 15 floors within the course of the game, and you find not only her body parts but also her different items throughout the course of the game that you can use. Now, for some reason, they have Frankie looking like the stereotypical '90s surfer dude with sunglasses and stuff. To me, you expect him to be using surfboards as weapons, but that's not the case. You got you some of the items that you do pick up are projectiles that you can use. And for some reason, it's kind of like when you use the projectiles against enemies, you can stun them, but they can still hurt you. What type of sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? What was going through their mind to have a stunned enemy still harm you, even though you did harm them? You know, even though you stunned them. Of course, the point is when you stun them, you can take them out, but still, what's the point of even stunning them if those enemies can still hurt you while they're stunned? It's like it doesn't make any sense for them to do that. It's like a bad decision, bad programming decision, in my opinion. You know, I mean, come on, now. If you can stun the enemy in a game, those stunned enemies shouldn't be able to harm you. I know I'm going on a little rant here, but it just doesn't make any sense for them to do this particular developer to do that. You know, I mean, this is one of those head scratchers. You know, uh, it does lead me to the fact that the Adventures of Dr. Franken is deceptively hard in that you can only take like 3 or 4 hits. To me, I expected to take like 7 to 8 hits before you die, but all you take is 3 or 4 hits and you're dead. You know, Now, one thing I can honestly say is that it's one of those games where it's harder than it should have been. You know what I'm saying? They should have toned down the difficulty in my opinion, whether not my decision. Mainly that it shouldn't have taken so few hits and you're dead type of thing. But what I can say is that when Frankie dies, he goes into this arm waving wildly in his head, like kind of like waving thing. It's kind of funny. It looks like it belongs in like a Looney Tunes cartoon or something, you know. But yeah, it's kind of like that is the one thing that you will notice that how hard this game is. It shouldn't have been hard as it was. Now, the graphics are pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, it's one of the games on Super Nintendo that actually aged well, in my opinion. Especially the strong suit of the graphics is actually the color palettes, you know, and the level design is pretty good too. It has that along with the graphics has that dark tone to it with a slight humorous tone to it, you know. But those two aspects of the adventures of Dr. Franken is pretty good, and both have aged well. Now, as far as the gameplay is concerned, it it is good that they have like varieties with the punches and kicks, but the problem is that the hit detection is lousy. I'm gonna be honest. The hit detection is outright lousy. I can compare it to say like WrestleMania 21 for Xbox, where the hit detection isn't all that good. Now the soundtrack it does fit the dark tone of the game in terms of the graphics and level design, but honestly, it's not all that memorable either. It's like not good, but not bad either, you know. And the main flaw of the adventures of Dr. Franken is the difficulty in that it's harder than it should have been, even though it's not as hard as say Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania for the NES. Plus Ghosts and Goblins for the NES. So it's not, even though it's not as hard as those three, but it shouldn't have been hard. It shouldn't have been harder than it should have been. You know, that along with the lousy hit detection makes it make it like mediocre at best. You know what I'm saying? It could be the game could have been better in those two regards. You know, yeah, truthfully, I would only recommend this game to gamers who are looking for a straight up challenge. And the Adventures of Dr. Franken does provide that in that regard. But other than that, I would say stick to other platforms. Sorry, I would say stick to other platformers on Super Nintendo like Super Mario World and Super Castlevania 4. As far as the score is concerned, I would definitely give it a 6. It had because it had potential to be a good game, but the company who made the Super Nintendo version just messed up with the difficulty and the hit detection. Now, with that being said, if you actually like this particular game, you can mention it. If you notice the same flaws as I did with the Adventures of Dr. Franken, you can mention that also. If you like this video review, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 signing off.